Greetings from the Yellow Submarine. Today we are going to be talking about one of the greatest musicians in the world. We will leave you with some fascinating facts about his life as a Beatles bassist who transcended the band and became one of the musical era's most respected and talented musicians. James Paul McCartney's destiny was to become one of the music industry's most prestigious and talented musicians. And of course, he was one of the fantastic members of the Beatles, band that invented everything for many and defined an entire generation. On June 18, 1942, Paul McCartney was born at Walton Hospital in Liverpool, England, where his mother, Mary Patricia Moen, 1909 to 1956, worked as a nurse. Due to his work as a volunteer firefighter during World War II, his father, James Jim McCartney, 1902 to 1976, was unable to attend his son's birth. Michael, his younger brother, was his only sibling, born January 7, 1944. They were baptized into their mother's Catholic faith, while their father was raised as a Protestant who later became an agnostic. Jim McCartney worked as a salesman, a municipal cleaning services employee, and a music fan. Sir Paul McCartney is turning 80, so we bring you some information about this great artist who composes, sings, acts, paints, writes, and he is an animal rights activist and plays a wide variety of instruments without reading sheet music. But he's also a part of British rock's living history. The Yellow Submarine crew will be grateful for your support, which you can show by clicking the like button and subscribing to our channel. Returning to our list, the first item is Number 1. He was arrested for torching a condom. The Beatles were performing a series of concerts in Hamburg in 1960. Pete Best was the group's drummer at the time. They broke their contract with the promoter by leaving the venue where they were playing due to the terrible working and living conditions they were offered, and went to play at a venue run by Peter Elkhorn, who offered them better wages. When McCartney and Best returned to the old location to retrieve their belongings, it was completely dark. Paul nailed a condom to the wall and set it on fire to annoy the former promoter, Bruno Koschmider. Although nothing serious occurred, Koschmider condemned them for attempting to burn down the building. Best and McCartney were detained for 3 hours before being deported, along with George Harrison, for working below the legal limit in Germany. Number 2. He witnessed the 9/11 terrorist attacks. On September 11, 2001, McCartney was at New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport. According to the Hollywood Reporter portal, the musician stated that he could see the Twin Towers from the waiting room window, and thus witnessed the moment the second hijacked plane impacted the building. Paul stated that he went straight to the bar to order himself a drink as soon as he stepped off the plane. Number 3. He is an honorary New York City Police Department detective. 6 weeks after the New York terrorist attacks, McCartney performed at Madison Square Garden. In addition to donating all proceeds to the Robin Hood Foundation, the event's purpose was to pay tribute to those who served on the day of the attacks and their families. The concert featured approximately 60 celebrities. McCartney performed the songs I'm Down, Lonely Road, From a Lover to a Friend, Yesterday, Let It Be, and Freedom, which he wrote after the attacks. In addition, the NYPD made him an honorary detective in recognition of his contributions. Number 4. At the age of 11, he was not accepted into his church's choir. McCartney auditioned for the Liverpool Cathedral Choir, but Ronald Wone's director turned him down. Wone told the Daily Mail portal in 2008 that not letting McCartney in was a favor because if he had, he would have ended up as a music teacher at a conservatory. Number 5. His birth certificate fetched more than $20,000. Brian Taylor, a 26-year-old Beatles fan, paid $21,285 for the musician's birth certificate in 1990. The value includes the certificate's original cost, $18,000, and taxes. Taylor triumphed over 2 other competitors. The authentic document arrived in the United States thanks to McCartney's stepmother. According to a New York Times article, she would have sold it to an American investor for an undisclosed sum. Number 6. He was the final member of the Beatles to be honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Along with a long musical career, McCartney finally received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in February 2012. The plaque, along with those of the Beatles' other 3 members, is located in front of the Capitol Records building. The Beatles received their star as a group in 1998, more than 25 years after their breakup. Ringo Starr received his star in 2010, while John Lennon and George Harrison received theirs in 1980 and 2001, respectively. Number 7. According to the Guinness Book of Records, he is the most successful musician. He won 18 Grammy Awards, 8 solo, 8 with the Beatles, and 2 with Wings. and the Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award twice, once as a member of the Beatles and once as a solo artist. Since March 11, 1997, he has been known as Sir Paul McCartney after being invested as a horseman by Queen Isabel II. Kisses on the Bottom received a Grammy Award for Best Traditional Pop Album on February 10, 2013. On May 23, 2015, he received a special award from PRS for music to commemorate the song's 50th anniversary yesterday. The Guinness World Records organization named Paul the most successful songwriter of all time in 2009, after he wrote or co-wrote 188 songs that remained on the UK's most popular lists. 91 made the top 10, with 33 ranking first. Number 8. Despite being a great composer and instrumentalist, he does not read sheet music. Regardless, in the 1920s, his father was a trumpeter and pianist in Jim Mack's jazz band. He kept an upright piano and encouraged his sons to pursue music. McCartney was given a trumpet as a gift and soon after purchased a guitar. However, he had difficulty playing it because, in addition to his lack of experience, the instrument was designed for right-handed people. Because McCartney is left-handed, he had to modify his guitar. On his Zenith guitar, he wrote his first song, I Lost My Little Girl, and on the house piano, he composed another that would become When I'm 64. On July 6, 1957, he met John Lennon in the hall of St. Peter's Church in Woolton. He could never read musical notation and was always composed and played by ear. Number 9. He was scared of going to the dentist. Paul McCartney wanted to visit his family in Liverpool one day after Christmas, but instead, he was involved in a motorcycle accident. As a result, he slipped out of his, breaking an entire tooth and leaving a scar above his upper lip. Paul thought no one would notice the cut because it was small. Brian Epstein said of the accident, I told him 3 times that he needed to take action. It is an area with no nerve endings, so there is no pain. Paul assured me that his tooth would be capped, but he did not. Are you afraid of the dentist? Yes, in my opinion. Number 10. The Paul is dead theory. The evidence gathered by Paul McCartney's fans support the theory that he died in a tragic accident. The evidence gathered by Paul McCartney's fans supports the theory that he died in a traffic accident. We'll leave them here. Even though Paul McCartney celebrates his 78th birthday today, some people believe that Ringo Starr is the only survivor of the Beatles. The Yesterday composer died in a car accident in 1969 and was immediately replaced by his bandmates by an imposter identical to him. But what was it that gave rise to and fueled this outlandish theory? First, you must recall the radio episode in which Orson Welles read The War of the Worlds, and people believed that an alien army was attacking the United States because the story of Paul's death has a similar beginning. We advise you to, Paul McCartney recalls the Beatles canceling a concert because of racism. In 1969, a radio station in Michigan was broadcasting normally, and announcer Russ Gibb was chatting with the listeners between songs, when the call came to change the Liverpool Quartet's history forever. An anonymous call from a man who refused to identify himself and said the word that sparked this theory before leaving the station in awkward silence. Paul is no longer alive, said the voice behind the device. Play Revolution number 9 backward, and when John repeats number 9, you'll hear him say, Turn me on, dead man. Following that, a student publication called Michigan Today published an article detailing the alleged death of the Beatles, as well as all of the clues that the group had been hiding where they allegedly told this story. According to the article, the real Paul died in a car accident on November 9, 1966, at 5 a.m. while driving his Aston Martin, which had ended up under a truck, and the Beatles beheaded after Paul lost control of the steering wheel. And, to top it all off, the Beatles refused to announce Paul's death, so they had to replace him with a stunt double, a man named Paul. William Campbell had the same voice and was repaired with a few plastic surgeries. With this, we conclude our video. If there is any curious fact that we did not include, or if you have an opinion on a certain fact, please leave it in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notifications button to stay updated. Finally, the Yellow Submarine wishes you luck and thanks for your time.